We want to welcome everybody to the Grit and Grind Sports Show podcast, live right here in Nash Central, Darryl.
Nash Central,
Another
home of the
week.
Bulldogs.
Another week right here.
Hey,
And we rotate. Each week we go to a school. Throughout the season, we're going to rotate. We may be on the field. We may want to come in the front of your school like we did last week with Rocky Mount. So we decided to do that for Nash Central. And I'm loving the sound right here.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Nash Central said welcome back.
Welcome back, Grit and Grind.
We back. We back. Back at the home of the Bulldog
The
Show.
Bulldogs.
And
But what we call them?
Dog
Pound.
Pound. The Dog Pound. And Sean, this past week 3, we reviewed.
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
Good week of football.
If you, again, what we said last week about the show, if you are in the Nash County area, there are 3 teams that are playing some good ball. And all 3 teams that we're talking about, Northern Nash, Southern Nash, Nash Central, 3-0 for the first time. All 3 teams
In a long time.
in
It's
a
been a long
long
time.
time. And they're playing some good football right now.
Well, one team I want to talk about, not in the Nash County area,
All right.
is right down there in Wilson County. I got to give him a shout out. Quarterback Bryson Wagner. He got him a win against the Robbers.
And that's what you was talking about last week.
And Bentonville, we said about them last year. Started off 0-2.
Yeah.
They went on that 3-game winning streak. Started to see the same thing revolve.
Mm-hmm.
Started off 0-2, lost against your rivals, beat your Cross County rival, Green Central.
Yeah.
And now taking one step forward. Once you get that W in your column, that's one step forward, getting yourself ready as you prepare for the season.
And that's what y'all. And let's go down to Franklin County. And
Got
we
to
talked
go.
about.
Got to go there.
You got to go to
I
Franklin
had to wear the
County.
red, Darryl.
You the Rams.
I got the red on
We
for the
got to
Rams
give them
today.
some love because the Rams came back. They started off 0-2.
2 tough games.
One game.
Apex on the road.
On the road.
South Central at the house.
And
4A
then-
schools.
Right.
Playoff schools.
Correct.
And took care of business.
Took care of business to your hometown rival in Lewisburg and Franklin County. Shout out to y'all coming back strong, and we're gonna talk about them later in the show as well.
That's it. Well, like always, Darryl, please tell me, who was that grit player of the week?
Well, you know, our grit player is always the defensive player of the week.
That's
and
right.
I looked and I was looking at some stats and I was looking at some teams, and normally I pick one player, but Sean, I couldn't do that this week.
Not this week.
Not this week. And for the first time for the grit, for this week, it's going to be a whole team. And I got to leave it right where we are right now.
In Dog Pound.
At the Dog Pound, and give it to the defense for Nash Central Bulldogs.
Well, they locked up Dog Pound.
When I say they
Nobody
locked
get out.
up, they played Goldsboro last week, and the score was 65-0. That defense did not give Goldsboro anything. And the game was pretty much decided probably by the second half. And so you had second screen guys
The
come
reserves
in,
in
the
there,
reserves
right.
to play. But the intensity stayed there.
And
that defense
and that's what's
said,
scary.
we're not letting our team down.
Right.
And that's the scary part.
That's scary.
That's the scary part, is that these guys know, hey, we in this game, we gonna play, you're not scoring.
That's right.
So I mean, just some of the common players on this defense that you hear their names all the time: Johnson, Drone, Wilkinson, Arrington, Davis, Tucker. These are some of the guys on that starting defense. And so the grit player team is going to be Nash Central Bulldogs for me this week. And Sean,
Yes, sir.
who's that grind player of the week?
Well, I got to go about maybe not even 10 minutes down the road.
All right.
And I got to stay right here on Old Carriage Road
Okay.
to get me there. I got to go to the Knights of Northern Nash.
Woo.
DeJuan Mitchell. We said that name a lot last year.
We said it a lot.
Welcome back to being in that Grind Player of the Week category. 100 yards in the last game, 201 yards over the past 3 games, 2 touchdowns in the past 3 games. And once again, kind of like how Nash Central and Southern's been. Northern Nash jump out and get an early lead on you, and then guess what? They can pull those starters out, rest them up, put in those reserves, because we keep saying, as we get into conference play and playoff play, these reserves are going to have to be ready to go in and give these guys some blows.
They definitely.
And so once again, DeJuan Mitchell just did his job, was able to go out in the second half, and the reserves got in, but he's the ground player, and we saw his name a lot last season. He may be getting ready to start his campaign of being the grind player for a couple consecutive weeks.
All right, so that is our grit and grind players of the week.
Now, Darryl, it's time for the favorite segment.
All right, what is
Them
that?
3 games of the week.
3 games of the week. We got a lot of games we got to get through, Sean.
Well, the first one I got to go to right here. Franklinton. I got on the red.
Yeah.
Franklinton Rams
Franklin, tell us a little bit about
versus Wakefield.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Franklinton 1-2. This is a away game for the Red Rams. The Red Rams, like we said, had 2 big games of the season.
Right.
Apex, South Central, Measure Street games. Took care of business against Lewisburg last week. I mean, the Apex lost 48-0, and we said, even with that loss, you look at that because you're playing a team that's playoff caliber. You look at it and you see, what can we do? Because we always say that about how Nash Central looks at losses. What can we do to get to that next level?
Right.
That's what Franklinton did against this Apex game. Okay, we went in, Apex, we ran out the stadium, but we used that to look at where can we get there. Then they had South Central at home, 14-6.
Mm-hmm.
Close game. We said you cut down on those mental mistakes. The score could have been the other way. But then you went to Lewisburg, 34-6. And you look at these 2 games and you look at those mistakes you made, you say it's week 3, it's time to cut back on them. We're playing our rival, let's take care of business. And that's what they did. But I mean, you know, with Franklinton, this right here, it starts with Damian Miller. I don't know if I'm saying his first name right, but I'm going to say DeMar or Damian Miller. It starts with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of been the kid on the Red Rams, kind of doing Mr. Everything for the team. But if you're Franklinton, another winnable game right here that gets you at 2-2, 500 before we get ready to run into conference play. And that's where you want to be at. That's a good place for Franklinton to sit at after having 2 tough games.
That's where you want to be, but it's going to be a tough game.
It is.
To get to 2-2, it's going to be tough because Wakefield, even though they have not won, they're
Not
only
a bad team.
3 right now. They played last week. They played Clayton. They lost 45-7. But prior to that, they played a Leesville Rose team and lost 42-14, and a Southeast Raleigh team and they lost 21-14. But again, these are tough losses. These are good teams that they played. They have played 3 good teams. So if you're Wakefield, you're looking at this as an opportunity.
Right.
Hey, we
Because you look at steal this.
Right. We know what we got. We know who we played, and we know what we are capable of doing in the right situation. And this may be one of that games where you turn around and say, we've got a Franklinton team coming in that we can turn things around and get our season started and get off to a good start. Because this is a tough conference. They're in conference with Millbrook. And I mean,
Leesville Road
and all of them. So this is a tough conference, and this is still a good Wakefield team. So if I'm Franklinton, I'm not taking this lightly at all.
If you're Franklinton, you got to go ahead and say, you know, both teams need to steal it.
Right.
You know, Wakefield needs to get a W in their column. They don't want to
And
go in the conference.
and they want that W.
Franklinton don't want to go in 1-3 into
Right.
conference play. So this is a big game, but it goes back to who will not make the most mental mistakes. I got my pick ready.
I got my pick.
I won't make it now, but I got my pick ready. I'm going to say that for the quick pick, 5-minute quick pick.
All right. So we both got our picks in for this, so we'll see what happens.
Let's jump over to our next game right here, Darryl.
Uh-oh.
Big game.
Where is it at?
Cougar Town, USA.
Oh, what is it that time again?
5 times North Carolina.
Is it that time
It's that
again?
time again. Hey, this game, if you've never been to it, we always tell you, it's a big game atmosphere between 2 towns that are side by side.
Side by side. And
Maybe 5 minutes they separate them.
Yeah.
If you live in Southwest, I said it last year, I said it again, you don't like Tarboro.
There you go.
If you live in Tarboro, you don't like Southwest.
And what do we call this game, Sean?
Function at the junction.
Function at the junction.
But if it's in Tarboro, they got another day.
Uh-oh, what they got?
Beat down on the boulevard.
Well,
that came from a Viking Southwest, not from me. A Viking told us that.
so this game is at Southwest.
It's down to Cougar Town, USA.
All right.
If you Tarboro down, I mean, what more can we say? 3-0, take care of business. I mean, we say it every week. This is just Tarboro. It's Tarboro.
Yeah.
It's normal for Tarboro.
Yep.
42-0 against Rocky Mount opening week. Herbert County 49-22. Last week against your rival North Edgecombe, 62-6. 3 games right there. Do you know how many points they scored? That's 153 points.
And we was talking about that last week with the Nash County team.
With 3 Nash County
Three
teams.
Nash County teams.
And we talking about one
One
team,
team.
153 points. I mean, it's Tarboro football at its
Yeah.
finest. I mean, they already ranked number 2 in the state. which I don't think they like that because you know who ranked number 1 in the state?
Oh, don't say it.
Mount Airy.
Mount Airy.
Mount Airy.
We got some fans down
We got some
there.
fans over
down
there.
at Mount Airy, so we'll be
Mount
talking
Airy.
about them later this
That's
year.
coming. That's coming up. It's
Yeah.
coming. See how I said it real quiet. Oh, the Mount Airy fans, they gonna bring that up. They gonna
Oh,
mention
yeah.
that. But I mean, it starts with once again with Tarboro. You got Cameron McDowell for 100 yards, Mason Satterfield 78 yards. You got Everett 74 yards. I mean, in the last game, I mean, Tarboro does what they always do.
Yeah.
Run the ball, control the clock, stop you, strangle you on defense, get the offense back out there, capitalize on your mistakes, and score touchdowns.
That's it.
That's Tarboro football.
That's Tarboro football.
But they got a hard test.
Yeah, they
Tell me
got,
about Southwest.
They got Southwest. They coming in Southwest. Southwest is 2-1 right now. They beat Eastern Wayne last week, 27-20. And with this Southwest team, they overcame that loss against Nash Central a couple weeks ago.
Big loss.
Big time loss for them, but they was able to bounce back and win against Eastern Wayne. And they played Tarboro last year, and they lost 27-7. And the word I'm gonna use for Southwest is opportunity.
That's it.
Opportunity. This is an opportunity to take your team to that next level. Even when Southwest had good teams where they went 12-2 and 13-1,
Tarboro always home.
Tarboro was
That's
still
the one
there.
that always
They
home.
couldn't win. The last time they beat Tarboro was in 2015, and they won 28-14. So Southwest, this is opportunity. That means get ready for this game because this is going to be a big time game for y'all. And if I'm the coaching staff, I'm just reiterating these words to these guys. Look, there's an opportunity for us to do something great to this Friday.
We're home.
We're home.
Let's shock the world.
Let's shock
the
world.
system.
They're not looking for us to do anything.
They're looking to
Let's
come
go
in
out
here and just
play.
run right through us.
Right. Let's go out here and play and leave it all out on the field. And if Southwest has that mindset and attitude, that's a good chance. That is a good chance.
Because I keep going back to what I said the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's a good team over there, son.
It is a good team.
And it's a more veteran team than last year that
Yeah.
made the playoffs.
Yeah. So, picks are in. But
Yeah,
we'll
they
talk about
in.
it a little bit later.
Oh, boy. I'm scared to make that pick.
Yeah.
And when I say that, people already know what I'm
Oh, I
thinking.
know what you're
I'm
thinking.
scared. I'm
Yeah.
scared. I'm scared. Let me jump over to the game of the week right here in Nash County. Very big game in Nash
Big
County.
game. Big game.
Big man football now.
Yeah.
Southern Alamance.
Where they coming to?
They come down to Bailey, North Carolina.
They coming to Southern Nash Pride.
Southern Nash Firebirds. Tell me about them birds over there.
All right, Sean. So the Birds come into this game 3-0. They beat Fight last week, 42-14. Typical players that you hear all the time that we talk about again. Mitchell, Hines, Faulkner on offense doing their things as far as scoring for them. But looking at this game, it's going to come down to the defense for Southern Nash. I looked at that Southern Alamance team, and I know you're going to tell us more about that team. But from what I saw on film, the first thing that jumped out at me was that offensive line. That is a physical offensive line for Southern Alamance. Those guys drive you. When that ball is snapped, they stick to their man until either that man's in the ground or they got pushing you to the end zone.
Old school offensive
Old
line
school
right there.
offensive line with Southern Alamance. So for Southern, their defense has got to be prepared for this game. Southern Alamance loves to that first down, get 4 or 5 yards from the kid. So if you're Southern, you got to penetrate, bring it in, tighten that defense up front. I'm looking for players like Dobbins, Whitaker, Faulkner, Richardson to step up, be leaders on that defense, because that's what you're going to need in this game, because this is going to be a long game. This is not going to be like the past 3 games that you played. Stay penalty-free on defense, play sound defense, don't let nothing get behind you, and play tight up front, because Southern Alamance doesn't look like they throw the ball a lot. So you need to bring those corners up some, bring the linebackers in a little bit, fill those gaps in the run lane, and stop the run, because they got 2 good running backs in Southern Alamance. And Sean, tell me a little bit about Southern Alamance.
2-1, 46-man roster. First game against Graham, 73-0. Second game, Jordan, 42-29. Chapel Hill, 65-27. So even in the game with a loss, they put up points. And that Jordan team, by the way, they're a good team.
Yeah.
playoff bound. Deep run, when I looked at them. 2 running backs over 100 yards last game. Jackson Parrish, 109. Logan Frost, 108. Caleb Franklin leads defense, 6 tackles per game. Brady Caps, 6 tackles. Miles DeRoche, 5 tackles. A balanced team.
Yeah.
A good team. Offensive line, off the ball, blocking, open up holes. So these 2 running backs, Jackson Parrish and Logan Frost, can get those 100 yards. If you're Southern Nash, you want to come into this game and be prepared to try to get a win. But you got a tough Southern Alamance team that you play. And guess what? They know a win for them against Southern Nash, that's a resume builder. You know, just like this win for Southern Nash is a resume builder. If they can say they beat Southern Nash as a team who's always in the playoffs,
Right.
put a lot of great players in D1 schools, just a resume builder for that playoff.
Definitely.
So, my pick in on this one,
This is like
This
your
is a tough pick I had to
Southwest and Tarboro pick. This is a tough pick for me. Because this is going to be a tough game. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. If you're a Southern Nash fan, you need to be worried about this game because right after this game,
who you got?
you got these guys right here waiting.
And could be coming in hosting this game
Yeah.
in the dog pound.
In the dog
4-0.
Right. So this is going to be a tough pick
This
for me
is
right here.
With that said, Darryl, let's go ahead and make these picks. Games
All
of
right.
the week. Make
Games
these
of
picks.
the week.
5-minute quick pick. 8-man football. Rocky Mountain Academy versus Father Capadona.
You know, I'm sticking with Rocky Mountain Academy.
You
here.
sticking with them?
I've been with them for the last 3 weeks. Let's do 4 weeks.
I'm going to go Father Capadona. I'm
All
going
right.
off the ship. Faith Christian versus Kerry Christian.
I'm going Kerry.
I got to go Kerry.
Yeah, I'm going Kerry.
That's an easy one for me.
Yeah.
CCS out of Wilson, the Cyclone versus Pungo Christian.
Give me CC.
I'm going to go Cyclones. I think CCS is getting something going down there. Howard, they didn't play last week. They rescheduled this game for this week. Howard versus Halifax Academy.
All right, and if y'all didn't remember, we picked Howard to
win their first game.
ever,
And they did.
and they did. So we're gonna pick them again. I am.
You been?
I'm going again.
I'm
going
not
with
big.
Howard.
I'm going Halifax Academy.
You going Halifax?
I'm
Academy?
going Halifax Academy.
I'm going Howard for the upset.
Okay. Let's jump over to Wilson, Wayne, and Johnson County. WPA, Wilson Prep Academy has a bye. Pike has a bye. Hunt has a bye. So it only leaves us just Wayne and Johnsonville. CBA Cop will be playing Tuesday night because they're making up from Friday night with all the weather stuff. So they will be playing North Lenore this Tuesday. So Tuesday night football. I'm going ACOT still.
You going still ACOT?
Still going ACOT. I don't care they play on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm never picking against ACOT.
I'm going North Lenore.
For the upset.
For the upset. I'm going North Lenore.
North Lenore Hawks. If you upset them, Darryl called it. North Johnson also has a bye this week, so only one game in that area. Let's jump over to Edgecombe County, which we'll just do the one game and then we'll say the game of the week for the
Okay.
final pick. North Edgecombe versus Northampton County.
Northampton County.
Northampton
Yeah,
County.
they've been rolling.
They've
Yeah.
been rolling. Well, we're going to talk about that game in a minute.
Oh yeah.
East Wake, they got a bye. Roseville versus Cardinal Gibbons. Big game.
Big game.
I got my big. I can make it.
I think East Wake is getting there. It's like they almost there. I'm going
Roseville.
Cardigan. I mean Roseville.
You going Roseville?
I'm going Roseville.
I got my pick. I never picked against the Rams of Roseville. I seen them play, but you playing Cardinal Gibbons. Cardinal Gibbons, the Crusaders. For
Okay.
me. Nightdale versus New Bern.
Oh, Newburgh.
New Bern, easy. That's easy for me. Wake Forest versus Southern Durham. Tough one.
That's gonna be. I was gonna say that's gonna be a tough game.
Right, but this Wake Forest team is it isn't the old school Wake Forest we're
Right.
seeing that they come out and just put 40, 30 points on you. They've been in some tough games.
What they playing?
I want to say Southern Durham, I believe.
I'm gonna go Southern Durham.
I stick with Coach Ridge. Wake Forest one more time. Jump over to Franklin, Benson, Warren County, Lewisburg versus North Raleigh Christian Academy. Lewisburg 0-2.
0-2. I think Lewisburg is gonna bounce back. From
This
the
is Lewisburg bounce back.
Yeah, I think they're gonna bounce back. I'm
Before
going
they go to
Lewisburg.
conference. Bun has a bye this week. A team that nobody's been watching. We've been calling them out, but
Yeah.
nobody's been watching them, Durham. 3-0 Vipers of Vance County versus Northern Durham. Another team in that
Yeah.
3A conference there. Over there in a little rural area.
Yep.
You don't hear that much
Don't hear
about
much
them.
about
But
them.
they're 3-0 and they've been putting up some points.
I'm gonna stick with Vance County.
I'm sticking with the Vipers of Vance County.
Yeah.
2-1 JF Webb has a bye this week. Warren County versus Northwest Halifax. Another conference game over there for Warren County. Warren County 0-3.
I think Warren County's gonna come back.
You going with
I'm
Eagles?
going with Warren County. I think they're gonna come. I mean, you're 0-3. You're gonna leave it out all on the field. I'm going Warren County for the upset. I'm going Warren County.
I'm taking the Fighters of Northwest Halifax.
Okay.
Southeast Halifax versus Weldon. Another good 1A conference game.
I'm going Weldon.
I'm going Chargers with Weldon. Here we go, Darryl. 0-3 Kemp Pride.
Kemp Pride.
But versus 0-3 Rocky Mount Prep. Somebody got to win.
I'm gonna say somebody's got.
Somebody gonna get a win.
I'm going Kemp Pride.
I watched Kemp Pride versus Northampton.
Right.
And they only lost by 6 points.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
They took your advice. They honed in, cut down on the penalties, and made it a game. And to be able to keep Northampton contained from opening up floodgates on you, it's starting to say that things are working right.
Right. And I'm going Kemp Pride.
I got to go with you.
Yeah.
Hey, you like Dave? I like Dave.
Yeah.
Kemp Pride. All right, let's jump over to the Dash County games for our games of the week, Darryl.
All right, here we go.
Rocky Mount versus Northeastern. Rocky Mount 0-3.
Ooh. Rocky Mount.
Close loss against Eaton tonight.
That's what I was gonna say. It was
close
loss.
They was in that game, in the play in Eaton. They was in that game.
And the thing is, Rocky Mount, you want to win this game because you got a hungry Bun team coming in.
Yes.
Next week.
Just gotta win. They gotta win.
They gotta win.
And gotta buy this week.
And they gotta buy.
They get a chance to
so
prepare.
they preparing. So you want to be tuned in. I'm gonna go Rocky Mount on this. I'm gonna go Rocky Mount.
I'm gonna go Northeastern.
Ooh.
Northern Nash versus DH Conley.
Northern Nash. Yeah, Northern Nash.
Big game right here. Big game. Nash Central versus Bettyfield. Bettyfield beat the rival Green Central last week. They got to win. Nash Central is rolling, as you can say, they're on the campaign.
They on that campaign trail. For the grit and grind, Nash County champs.
They on the campaign.
They taking that bus. Where they going?
They got to go to Bettyfield.
They
go to Bettyfield. They got to go to the field.
I'm going with the Bulldogs.
I'm picking the Bulldogs, and I hate, I know it against my old school Bettyfield. I think this game is going to be like a measure stick for Bettyfield to see.
Yeah.
This is where we want to get at in 2A football. We want to get to the caliber where Nash Central's playing it and executing. I think Bettyfield uses this loss to be a morale boost to get ready to go into conference play. Bulldogs going to run wild over there.
I'm going Bulldogs on this.
But Coach Ben going to have them more ready to play, I know.
Yeah.
Games of the week.
All right, here we go.
Franklinton versus Wakefield.
It's going to be a tough game.
That's a tough one to beat.
Oh, man.
Both teams are playing for this win before they get in conference play.
I know Wakefield is 0-3.
Don't let the record fool you.
Don't let it fool you. My heart wants to say Franklin.
Uh-oh.
But Franklin is going to Wakefield.
Wakefield, uh-oh.
Wakefield is desperate for a win.
They need one because they in a hard conference.
I know.
You got Leesville Road, the pride in that conference.
I know Ram Nation is going to hate me for this pick, but I'm going to go Wakefield on this one. I think Wakefield is a little bit hungry.
Final answer.
They need a win.
Final
answer. I'm going to go Wakefield.
I wore the red today for the Ram Nation. I'm sticking with the Ram Nation. Franklinton gets this win to get them to 500 before they get ready to come to conference play.
All right.
Franklinton Red Rams. Function at the junction.
Here we are.
In Cougar Town, USA.
The picks are coming.
Southwest Edgecombe, Tarboro. Rivalry new.
It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. But in the end, I think it's going to be close. But I think Tarboro's going to take care of business. I think Tarboro's going to roll in there and beat Tarboro and come out with a victory and get ready for that next game.
I'm going to make this same pick how I called it. We called the game at Function and Junction at Southwest Edgecombe in the box. Same sense I'm going to say it again. Tarboro going to roll into Cougar Town, USA. They going to roll up a good score, and they going to head back to Tarboro with a W in their pocket.
All right, so we got that pick. And the final pick.
Southern Nash. Southern Alabama.
This is tough. This is a hard pick. This is going to, if you go to this game, this is going to be a defensive focused type game. And I don't see the score being as high for
Right,
either
it ain't gonna be a shootout game.
I
Not
don't think it's
gonna
going
be
to be a shootout game. I think it's going to come down to
who can lock in on defense.
who can lock in on defense and special teams. I think that's going to be the biggest point for this game. I'm going to pick Southern. I'm going Southern, but
Which Southern? Which Southern? Oh no, which Southern?
Southern Nash.
Okay.
I'm going Southern Nash, but it's going to be close, and it's definitely going to come down to the fourth quarter and who can be penalty free, who can not make less mistakes. Yeah, I'm going Southern on this one.
Southern Nash is in pick. I gotta go Southern Nash. I think Southern Nash needs this resume built a win in their college.
Yep.
And if Southern Nash wins this game and Nash Central beats Vanderbilt,
Oh, yeah.
it sets up a good game for next week. The two undefeated teams.
Two undefeated teams.
That's what I want.
And you will have
At the dog
At the dog
That's what
pound.
I want. That's what I want.
Oh.
I think Southern takes care of business on this. Like you said, I don't think it's the typical Southern shootout, both race to 50. I think it's pretty much like I said, defense strategy game.
all right. So our picks are in.
We want to thank everybody for tuning to the Grit and Grind Sports Show podcast, live right here at Nash Central, Dog Pound.
Dog Pound.
And we want to thank you for tuning in to Studio 67 NCC and Channel 19. Don't forget to check the graphic for our picks. They could change.
That could change.
Could change by Thursday.
Yep.
So don't forget to check the graphic for our picks there. And we will see you next week better than ever. And Southern Nash will be our host next week.
Yep.
So as always, we'll see you next week. And Darryl, do you have the Grit?
And do you have the grind?
We'll see you next week on the Grit Grind Sports Show podcast.